the 15th of November. Dear Margaret, I am writing to you this week into a quiet I do not quite know how to fill. And I'm going to tell you why straight off, the way you taught me. Because to circle it would be worse. No letter came from you this week. There is an empty place on the shelf by the cornflower basin where your letter would stand, and it has been empty since the carrier came, and I have looked at it more times than I will admit to, the way the tongue goes to the gap where a tooth was. Now, before you read that and feel the guilt reach for you across all these miles, let me be the reasonable one for once, since you are not here to be it for me. I am not alarmed. I am telling myself I am not alarmed, and I am mostly succeeding, and I want you to succeed at it too. There are 100 plain reasons, and I have lined them all up and looked at them. The post here is a strange and lawless thing. We have long since agreed on that. Your letters have reached me faster than letters can travel, and dated from days that had not happened yet. So it is no great stretch that one week a letter should simply take the ordinary, slow time that letters are supposed to take, and be merely late, merely on its way, merely caught somewhere in the deep snow between your milder south and my buried north. The snow is very deep now. Whole roads are gone. It would be stranger, would it not, if the post never once faltered, than that it should falter now. And there is the other thing, the thing I have turned over most, that your time and mine came apart weeks ago, that you write me from dates ahead of my own, and that perhaps, on your calendar, in your December, you have not yet sat down to write this week's letter at all. Perhaps it is still ahead of you, still unwritten, a letter that exists in your future and simply has not reached back to my present yet. I find that one almost comforting in the small hours. Your letter may not be lost. It may only be not yet. So I am not alarmed. I am something quieter and harder to name than alarmed. I've been sitting here trying to find the word, and I think the word is unmoored. For all these months, however strange everything else became, however loose my grip on the days, there was one fixed thing, one rope with a known weight, and it was you, the weekly letter, the certainty of it, the small blue miracle of your hand arriving out of the south. I built my whole count on it. Do you remember? I told you I had given up numbering the days and would number your letters instead, that they were my calendar now. Well, this week the calendar skipped a page, and I have found out how much I was leaning on it only now that it has, for 1 week, not been there to lean on. I am writing this into the gap. I am writing it not knowing when or whether it crosses to you, which is a thing I have never done. I have always written you as a reply, into a conversation, and this week I am writing into a silence, and it feels less like posting a letter than like calling your name down a well and waiting to hear if anything comes back. But I am going to call it anyway. I am going to write you the week exactly as though your letter had come, because the alternative is to let the silence win. And I will not. So here is the week, and here is the strange heart of it, the thing I would have led with in any other letter and have made myself set second to the silence. Someone else has come. Someone from away. There is a new one in the village, Margaret, arrived this week out of the snow, and I have spent these days since watching her, and I cannot tell you how it has undone me, because watching her is like nothing so much as watching myself walk in through that door on my own first night, months ago. Out of the dark, thin and grey and lost, except that now I am the one already inside, in the warm, in the gold, one of the faces at the fire she does not yet know. And the doubling of it, the standing on the far side of my own arrival, has been the strangest thing that has happened to me in all these strange months, stranger than the fog or the far garden or the kept snow, because it happened not to the world, but to me, or to my sense of where I stand in it. She came on the worst night we have had, the snow driving properly for once, not the kind falling stuff, but a real weather with a wind in it. And the door of the inn opened on a gust of white, and there she was, half carried in on the cold. A young woman younger than I am, in a good coat gone wrong for this country, with a case in her hand she would not put down, and the particular look on her face that I know now from the inside, though I had never before seen it from the out. The look of a person who has come a very long way on purpose and arrived somewhere that is not at all what they were promised, or what they promised themselves. Wet through, grey with tiredness, her eyes going round the warm room too fast, taking in the fire and the faces and finding no purchase, the way your eye can find no purchase on new snow. And I knew her. Not her name, I did not have her name yet, but I knew her, knew the whole of her in a single look, because she was me. She was me on the 4th of October, getting down off that coach into the blue dark, with my chest full of a tiredness I could not name. I felt it go through me like cold water, Margaret, the recognition, and I had to sit back down, because I had stood up without deciding to. And then she did the thing, the small thing that finished me. Mrs. Pell got her to the fire and got something hot into her hands, kind and flat and unsurprised as she was with me, as she is with every soul the snow blows in. And the young woman sat there shaking by the fire, and after a while, when she could speak, the first thing she asked, the very first thing, before her own name, before where she might sleep, she asked what day it was. She asked what day it was. And there was a small silence in the room, that particular Hollowmere silence I have come to know so well. The silence that falls when a newcomer asks a question the village long ago stopped having an answer to. And I watched her wait for the answer, watched her hold her wet coat and wait to be told the date, the way a drowning person waits for a rope. Because the date is the last thing you have from the old world, the last handhold. And she wanted it. She needed to be told that it was still an ordinary Tuesday somewhere. And no one answered her, kindly. No one answered, because how could they? And I watched her face as she began to understand that the question had no answer here. And Margaret, I could not bear it. I know that face from the inside. I have made that face. And I got up, and I crossed the room, and I sat down by her, and I told her the date. I told her it was the 15th of November. I do not know that it is the 15th of November. You know I do not. I have told you I have lost the true count, that I keep the date now for love and not for use. But I have the service's kitchen calendar, the one with the tide tables, the one honest numbered thing I have left. And I had looked at it that very morning, and it said the 15th, and so I gave her the 15th, whole and certain, as though I had no doubt of it in the world. Because that is what she needed, Margaret, not the truth, which is that the date here is a soft and doubtful thing, but a firm number said in a firm voice, by someone who was a stranger once too. I gave her the handhold. I watched her take it. I watched her whole body change as she took it, the shoulders coming down from around her ears, the breath going out of her, the small, terrible relief of a person told that time still runs somewhere, that it is still Tuesday somewhere, that she has not fallen entirely off the edge of the ordinary world. And I thought, no one did that for me. On my first night, no one told me the date in a firm voice. I had to find out slowly and terribly that there was no date to be had, and it frightened me half to death, and I would not wish that first slow discovery on anyone, and so I spared her it, for a night at least. I do not know if that was a kindness or a lie. I have decided, as I decide everything now, that it was both. We talked a little after that. Not much. She was too tired for much. And I have learned here not to press. Her name is Iris. She has come, she said, from a city I know. A grey, particular city of the kind I spent my own grey, particular years in. And she has come for the reasons people come to a place like this. Which is to say, she did not give me the reasons, and I did not ask. Because I know how those reasons sit in a person. I have my own sitting in me still. The tiredness with no story attached that I have never fully told, even you. She has that. I saw it. Whatever she is running from or toward, it has worn her the way mine wore me, down to the grey and the sleepless. And she has come here the way a stone comes to the bottom of a well, not choosing the place so much as simply arriving at the lowest point available. And all the while we talked, she kept doing a thing with her hands. She had a small watch on a chain, a good one, and she kept taking it out and looking at it and winding it, a few turns, and putting it away, and taking it out again, checking it against nothing, winding it against a stopping it could feel coming, the way you clutch tighter at a rail on a ship that has begun, very slightly, to list. I know that gesture too. I did it with my pocket watch the first fortnight, until the day I noticed the village had no clock for mine to agree with, and quietly stopped winding it. I wanted to reach over and still her hands. I wanted to say, "Let it stop, my dear. It is going to stop anyway. They all stop here. And it is not the ending you think it is." I did not say it. It was not mine to say. Not yet. Perhaps not ever. Because here is what I have been wrestling with, Margaret, these snowbound days, watching Iris sit by the fire and wind her dying watch. What do I owe her? What is the right thing to tell the one who comes after you, when you are far enough in yourself to see the shape of the place, but not far enough to have made your peace with it? Two voices in me, and they will not agree. The one says, warn her. Tell her plainly while she still has a watch that runs and a coat from the old world and a road behind her she could still find under the snow if she went soon. Tell her that this place keeps people, that it is kind and it is warm and it takes the hard edges off you, one at a time, until you cannot remember which way is out. Tell her about the man from Wenley under his dateless stone. Tell her to run while running is still a thing her legs remember how to do. And the other voice says, welcome her. Do for her exactly what was done for you. The fire, the bread, the flat, unsurprised kindness, the blanket that arrives unasked, because it was the saving of you, that welcome. You were drowning, and it was the warm hand that pulled you up. And who are you to deny it to the next drowning soul? Because you have grown frightened in your comfort, of how comfortable you have become. I have watched the village take her in this week, Margaret, and it is the gentlest and the most frightening thing, because I have watched it from the inside of the machine for the first time, not as the one being taken, but as one of the takers, one of the warm hands. Mrs. Pell has a way with the new ones. I see it now, having been done by it and now watching it done. She does not fuss. She does not welcome you in words. She simply folds you into the ordinary as though you had always been there, hands you a task, tells you where the cups are, lets you be useful, so that before you have decided to belong, you are already carrying the belonging in your two hands. Edwin has looked at Iris twice now with that measuring look. The look I finally understood was the look of a woman taking your size for wool. And I know, though it will be weeks yet, that a grey blanket is already being planned in the back of that quiet mind, that the autumn's long, patient knitting has found its next recipient before the recipient has any idea she is one. Old Hartle told her a piece of a story last night, unasked, the way he tells them, and she leaned in the way I leaned in, hungry for it without knowing why. And Mr. Oates, I saw this, I was there. Mr. Oates found her not sleeping, up in the cold, small hours of her second night. And I came down myself the same night, not sleeping, and I found the two of them already in the bakehouse, Iris on my stool by the oven, wrapped in the heat of it, and Oates working his dough and saying nothing. And I stood in the doorway unseen, and understood that he had said to her what he said to me, "Come down here in the dark till you learn it." And that the stool I have thought of privately as mine was never mine. It is the newcomer's stool. It has held 100 sleepless strangers before me, and will hold 100 after. And I felt something I am ashamed of, Margaret. I felt a flicker of something like jealousy, as though my place were being taken, before I understood that this is exactly the point, that there is no my place here. There is only the place, the warm, slow round of it. And it takes us each in turn and holds us, and will hold the next one. And the stool by the oven is not mine and never was. It belongs to whoever is cold. And that was the moment, standing in that doorway, watching Oates be kind to Iris the way he was kind to me, that I understood the thing I have been circling this whole letter. The thing that is under the silence and the doubling and the wrestling both. I have crossed over. I am not the one from away anymore. Somewhere in these months, without a day I could point to, I stopped being the newcomer and became one of the village, one of the warm faces by the fire that the next lost soul cannot yet tell apart, one of the hands that folds the stranger in, one of the keepers of the kind, slow machine. When did that happen? I could not tell you. There was no morning I woke and was of the place. It came the way the snow came, in the night, a fact already settled by the time I saw it. But it is settled. Iris looked at me across the fire on her second evening, when I brought her some small thing, bread, I think, and she looked at me with the exact look I must have given Mrs. Pell in my first week. The look that says, "You are one of the ones who belong here. You are one of the ones who know how this works. Help me." And she has no idea, none, that I am only months ahead of her. That I too came grey and sleepless out of the snow not long ago. That I am not a native of this warmth but a convert to it. To her I am Hollowmere. I am one of the people the place is made of, and I stood there being, to a frightened newcomer, the very thing that frightened and saved me. And I did not know whether to weep or run, and I did neither. I handed her the bread, because that is what you do. That is the whole of it. You hand the cold one the bread. I have decided what to do about Iris, or decided as much as a man can decide a thing like this. And I want to tell you, because you are the one I decide things with, and because deciding it to you is how I will find out whether I believe it. I am not going to warn her. I turned the warning over a long time. I lay awake on it, which is the thing I still do even in all this warmth. The old clerk in me sitting up at his ledger long after the rest of me has gone to the fire. And I came to see that the warning would be a cruelty dressed as a kindness, and I have had enough of those to no one when I am about to commit it. Because think, Margaret, she did not come here on a whim to be talked out of. She came the way I came, the way the man from Wenley came, the way they all come, because the old world had worn her through, and this was the low place she rolled to, the last warm room at the bottom of a long, cold falling. To tell such a person to run, to go back out into the very cold that broke them, to give up the one refuge that has opened its door, that is not a rescue. That is pushing a drowning woman back into the water because you have developed, from the comfort of the bank, a theory about the dangers of boats. No, she is here because here was where there was left to come. I will not tell her to leave. I do not, if I am honest, even believe leaving is what would save her. It did not save the man from Wenley to keep checking the timetable. It only made his first years here an agony of divided wanting. What saved him, in the end, in Mrs. Yarrow's telling, was stopping, was letting the route take, was being, at last, contentedly held. Maybe that is the only saving on offer for people like us, the worn-through ones, the ones from away. Not escape, but rest. Not the road out, but the warm hand in. But I am not going to lie to her either, not past that first mercy of the given date. Here is the middle way I have found and mean to walk. I am going to be her friend. I am going to be, for Iris, the one thing no one was for me, and that I would have given a great deal to have had. Someone already inside who remembers the outside. Someone who has made the passage and can walk beside her through it, telling her the truth as she becomes able to hold it, not to frighten her out, but to keep her company on the way in. When she is ready to know that the date is soft here, I will be the one to tell her gently, rather than letting her find it out alone in the dark, as I did. When the watch finally stops in her hand, and it will, Margaret, they all stop, I will be there to tell her it is all right, that it happened to me too, that the world does not end when the ticking does. I will be the older brother of her strangeness, since I cannot be with the younger one of my own. And I will tell you the selfish part too, because I have promised you the selfish parts. It is a comfort to me that she is here. I am ashamed of how much. In the very week that your letter did not come, in the week the one thread home went quiet, another soul arrived who remembers the outside world I came from, who has walked the grey streets I walked, who checks a dying watch the way I used to, a fellow exile, a countrywoman of my strangeness, arriving at the exact moment I most needed proof that I had not simply dreamed the whole outside world into which I was born. I do not think that is a coincidence. I have stopped believing in coincidences here. I think the place gives you what you need to stay, precisely when you most need it, which is either the kindest thing about it or the most cunning, and which is, of course, as everything here is, both. I have been thinking all week, watching Iris, about the kind of soul that comes to a place like this, because she is so plainly one of them, and so was I, and so, I see it now, is nearly everyone here who was not born here. And it has made me understand the village in a way I had not before. We are, all of us who came from away, the worn through. That is the common thread, under the different faces and the different grey cities and the different unspoken reasons. We are the ones the measured world used up. I do not mean the broken, exactly, though some of us were near it. I mean the worn. The ones who did the measured world's work and kept its hours and counted its columns and were, slowly, over years, rubbed thin by it. The way a stair is worn hollow not by any one great blow, but by the patient passage of ordinary feet. The measured world does that to a certain kind of person, Margaret. It is very good at using them. It finds the ones who will keep the count and mind the ledger and be reliable, endlessly reliable. And it leans its whole weight on them for 20 years and calls it a career. And it does not notice, why would it? It has no eyes, that it is wearing them through. That the reliable grey man at the desk is being quietly hollowed out by the very reliability that makes him useful. Until one grey morning, there is not enough of him left to keep going. And he gets up from the desk and walks to a coach and comes north to the bottom of the world with a tiredness he cannot name. That was me. That is Iris, in her way, a generation on. That is the man from Wenley, and old Hartle if you go back far enough, and half the faces at the fire. Hollowmere is where the worn through wash up. It is a whole village of people the measured world used until they were thin, and who found their way, by roads that take longer than they should, to the one place that does not measure. The one place that will not lean its weight on you, will not count your hours or spend your reliability, will only warm you and feed you, and let the days be as long as they are, and ask nothing, nothing at all. But that you let yourself, at last, be still. And when I put it like that, Margaret, when I see it whole, the village as a refuge for the worn through, a walled, warm garden for the used up, a place that takes the people the counting world discarded and simply lets them rest, I find I cannot make the frightened case against it that I keep trying to make. Yes, it keeps us. Yes, we grow strange and lose the count, and forget, in the end, the road's out. But we were being kept before, and worse, kept. Kept at a desk in a grey city, and used until we broke. And no one called that a trap because the ticking clock made it look like purpose. At least this keeping is kind. At least this keeping knows it has you and holds you gently, and wants nothing but your rest. I am not sure anymore which is the crueler place to be kept. The measured world that wears you through and calls it a life, or the unmeasured one that catches what is left of you and will not, ever, let you be used again. I know which one Iris fell toward when she had nothing left. I know which one I am writing to you warm and rested from. I only wish the two of us, you and I, did not have to be at the far ends of it, the measured and the unmeasured, for me to have found my rest. Watching Iris has sent me back to you all week, Margaret, in a way I was not prepared for. Because she is someone's, do you see? That is what keeps catching me. She sat by the fire that first night winding her watch, alone at the end of the earth, and somewhere behind her, in the grey city she came from, there is surely a someone, a sister, a mother, a friend, some person who loves her and does not know tonight whether she is warm. And I have not been able to stop thinking of that someone, that unknown watcher in the south with no letter come, because that someone is you. I am Iris. You are the one she left behind. And so her arrival, which should have been only strange, has been strange and tender both. Because through her, I have been made to see myself from your side for the first time. To see what it is you have been doing all these months, sitting in your kitchen 100 miles off, keeping the empty half of the bench, not knowing week to week whether your brother is warm, holding on by nothing but the thin blue thread of a letter that this week, for the first time, did not come. I have been so busy being the one who left. I have not let myself feel until this week, until Iris, how it must be to be the one who is left. Forgive me for that. It took a stranger winding a watch to make me understand my own sister's side of this. And I understand it now. And I am so sorry the letter that would have told you so is going into a silence and maybe weeks reaching you. I did a thing I have not done before. I took down your letters. I keep them. Of course I keep them. All of them. In the drawer of the writing desk, tied with the same string you tied the first one with. And I read them through, all of them, in order, one snowbound evening while the others dozed by the fire. From the first bewildered one you sent to Wenley that reached me late and stained, right through to the last that came before the silence. And Margaret, read all together like that, in one sitting, they are not letters, they are a rope. I could see it, reading them in order, the steady, patient weave of you, week after week, throwing me the line, the boys and the bench and the garden, and the plain, unfailing fact of your love, over and over, never missing, never once missing until now. A rope you have been paying out to me across the whole dark distance, so that however far I drifted, I was never quite adrift. I sat by the fire holding the whole rope of them in my two hands, and I understood what this one silent week has cost me, and what all the unsilent weeks have quietly given. And I looked up from them at last, and went to the window, to the black glass with the snow still turning past it, and I looked up, the way we said we would, at the stars, our new pact, the one shared ceiling. And I looked for you up there the way we agreed. And Margaret, I will tell you the truth of it. It was harder alone. Looking up at the shared stars is a fine and comforting thing when you know that 100 miles south, a letter is even now on its way, carrying your sister's half of the looking. It is a lonelier thing when you look up into the same sky and cannot be sure this week that anyone is looking back. But I looked anyway. I stood at the cold glass and found our stars and held them a long while. And I said to you, up through the snow and the dark and the whole uncertain distance, I am still here. I am still warm. The letter simply hasn't come. Look up. I am looking. And I chose, standing there, to believe that somewhere in your December you heard it, or will hear it, or are even now sitting down at last to write the letter that will tell me you did. Not yet is not the same as never. I am holding hard to the difference. I took her out into it yesterday. Iris, I mean. She was stronger by then, slept a little, eaten, the grey going slowly out of her face. I took her out to show her the village, because she had not really seen it, only stumbled through the snow into the inn and stayed close to the fire since, the way a hurt animal stays close to the wall. And it turned into the best walk I have had since I came, and I want to give it to you, because it gave me something back that I had not known I had lost. And that is your noticing this week. And it is a strange one, because it is a noticing of a noticing. I walked her down the dipping lane toward the river, the way I walk, the snow deep and the hush lying over everything. And I found myself doing what you do for someone on their first proper look at a place you have come to love, pointing things out, naming them. The bakehouse where Oates had already been kind to her, the green-doored shop, the church with its silent tower, the old stone bridge under its blanket of white. And I heard myself, Margaret, and I was struck by how much I sounded like a native, like a man who had lived here all his life and was showing a visitor round the ordinary streets of home. And I realized how much of the village's strangeness I have simply stopped seeing. That the kept snow that undid me a fortnight ago I now walk past without a thought, that the wonders have become my furniture. And then we came to the bridge, and Iris stopped. She stopped dead in the middle of it and made a small sound, and I turned, thinking something was wrong, and nothing was wrong. She was only looking. She was looking at the river, at the one black, quick, living thing running under all that white stillness, the dark water going by under the snow-laden banks, and she stood and looked at it with her whole face open, the way a person's face opens only at the genuinely unexpected, and she said, quietly, more to the river than to me, "It hasn't frozen. Everything's frozen, and it hasn't frozen. How is it still running?" And Margaret, I had stopped seeing the river. I had walked past that black running miracle a dozen times since the snow, and stopped seeing it, the way you stop hearing a clock, and she gave it back to me. Standing there, watching her see it, I saw it again myself, properly, for the first time in weeks, the one thing in the whole valley that would not stay, that would not freeze, that kept the world's old hurrying time under all the kept and silent snow. And I felt the wonder come back up in me fresh, borrowed from her, and I understood the last gift the newcomer brings, the thing I had not counted. She gives the old ones their eyes back. We need her for that. The village needs its irises, not only to have someone to warm, but to be shown again through fresh and frightened eyes the marvels it has grown too settled to see. She is teaching me my own home. I came out to show her the village, and she showed it to me, and that is the whole strange economy of the place in a single moment, on a bridge, and I have not stopped thinking about it since. We stood a while longer, and I told her a little of the truth, the first careful handful of it. I did not tell her the frightening things, but when she wondered aloud, still looking at the river, whether it was always so quiet here, whether the days always felt so, and she reached for the word and could not find it, I said the word for her. I said, unmeasured, and she looked at me, and I saw her understand that I knew something, that I was not merely a helpful native but a fellow traveller further down the same road, and I said, "You'll find the days don't keep their count here the way they did at home." It frightened me at first. It doesn't now. I'll tell you about it when you want to know, and not before. And she was quiet, and then she said, "You came from away too?" Not a question. And I said yes. And that was all. And it was enough. And we walked back up the long lane in the falling snow, not saying much, two exiles from the measured world. And I have not felt so accompanied since I left you. The dark is the great fact of the days now, Margaret, and I have not told you how far it has come. We are past the first snow into the true deep of the winter, and the days have drawn in so far that they are hardly days at all. A long blue-grey dimness that never quite becomes morning before it begins already to fail back toward the dark. So that the lit part of the day is a brief thing, held in two long hands of night, a single lamp of daylight between the enormous evenings. At home, the short days were a misery to me, one more grey inconvenience to be got through. The lights on by 4, and the whole city grinding home in the wet dark. Here, the dark is not a misery. Here, the dark is the point, the way the snow was the point. The village leans into it, banks itself against it, lets the long nights be long and fills them not with lamps against the dark, but with warmth inside it. The bakehouse runs longer. The sitting up nights start earlier and end later, or do not end at all, folding one into the next. The stores come out, the fruited loaves, the kept apples going soft and sweet. The small hoarded comforts a village lays by when it knows a long dark is coming. And there is a feeling abroad that I can only call anticipation, a leaning towards something, as though the whole valley were gathering itself in the deepening dark towards some turning still ahead, some deepest point of the winter that they all know is coming, and I do not yet, and will not ask about, because I have learned that the things worth knowing here arrive when they arrive. Reed said a thing about it, sidelong, mending the fire, that the dark hasn't got to the bottom yet, that there is a night coming, the longest one, that the village keeps in a way it keeps nothing else. And then he went quiet, in the way that means the rest will be shown me when the time comes and not before. So there is that ahead, whatever it is, some midwinter thing, and I feel the village leaning toward it, and I am leaning too, drawn into the shared anticipation the way I am drawn into everything here. And it is into this deepening dark, this long blue winter of hardly days, that your silence has fallen. And I will not pretend the dark does not make the silence heavier, because the small hours are longer now, and a man alone in a cold room with no letter come has more night to fill with the missing of it. But the same dark that deepens the silence also deepens the warmth against it. That is the mercy I keep finding here, the one law under all the strangeness, that nothing hard comes without its answering comfort set close beside it. The cold and the fire always in the same room. The dark is very deep. The room is very warm. Your letter has not come. The shelf is kept for it. All of it at once, Margaret. All of it true together, which is the only way anything is ever true here. I should give you a night before the mornings take this letter over, because the nights this week have had Iris in them, and watching her in the gold room of an evening has been its own slow, tender thing. You know the sitting up nights by now, Margaret. The whole snowbound village gathered into the one warm room, the fire built high, the black windows with the snow still turning past them, the dozing and the quiet and the not going home. She sat at the edge of them her first evenings, the way I sat at the edge of them mine, close to the wall, watchful, holding her cup with both hands like a shield, waiting for something to be asked of her that never was. Because that is the genius of the place, that nothing is asked, that you are simply let be there in the warmth until the warmth becomes yours without your noticing the moment it did. And I have watched her, night by night, come in a little further from the wall. The first night she sat apart. The second, Mrs. Pell put her nearer the fire without a word, in the way Mrs. Pell has of arranging people like furniture that will be more comfortable so. By the third, the brown dog had gone and lain across her feet as well as mine. He spreads his loyalties by the fire, that dog. He is the great democrat of the inn. And I watched her look down at the warm weight of him with an expression I knew from the inside. The surprise of being chosen by something that wants nothing from you. And I watched her not quite dare to move her feet lest she disturb him, exactly as I had not dared, and I nearly laughed and nearly wept, both in the firelight, at the sight of my own first winter played back to me in a stranger's face. And late that third night, the singing came again, that low, wordless old tune that starts from no one and gathers the waking voices into it. The one I could not send you the shape of last time, and cannot now. And I watched Iris hear it for the first time. I watched her go still. I watched her listen with her whole frightened, tired face, the way I listened my first time, and I watched something in her let go a little more, another turn of the little wheel loosening. And by the end of it, her eyes had closed, not asleep, only closed, only listening, and a slackness had come into her shoulders that had not been there when she stumbled in out of the snow. And I thought, the song is doing to her what it did to me. It is singing her in. And I sat there in the gold with the dog on my feet and a stranger being gentled into belonging across the fire and the snow keeping its watch at the black glass. And I was happy. And I was melancholy under the happy for the letter that had not come, and the two feelings did not fight. They sat together in me, the way the village sits together in the warm, and I let them both be, and listened to the end of the song. The cutting is still green in my window, Margaret. Greener, if anything. It has settled into its pot the way a thing settles that means to stay, and it holds its impossible June against the black, snowbound glass every night. And I've been sitting with it more than usual this week, for reasons I think you will understand without my labouring them. Because I keep looking at it and thinking of Iris. She is a cutting too, is she not? Carried here from away, set down in the strange, warm ground of this place, and already, though she does not feel it yet, beginning to take. I watched Mrs. Yarrow press the slip into my hand months ago and tell me the root remembers, that it grows up a stranger to itself in the new place but stays joined underground to where it came from, here and away both. I did not fully understand then that she was telling me about people. I understand it now, watching Iris put down her first pale roots by the fire, watching Anwen measure her for wool. Iris will take. In a year, in 5, she will be one of the warm faces the next newcomer cannot tell from a native, and she will have half forgotten the grey city and the someone she left there, and she will be content and lost and held, the way I am, the way the man from Wenley was, the way this whole village of transplanted souls all quietly are. A walled garden full of things that came from away and took and grew up strangers to themselves and stopped, in the end, being able to say where they began. And I am the old root now. That is the thing I keep arriving at. When I first heard Mrs. Yarrow's law, I thought of myself as the cutting, the carried thing, the one still joined back to the home soil, joined to you, Margaret. You were the ground I came from, and the root ran back to you. And you are still the ground, nothing changes that. I would not let it. But I am aware this week, more than I have ever been, that the root runs the other way too now, that I have grown my own new tendrils down into this place, into Oates's bakehouse, and Hartle's stories, and Reed's easy silence, and the sitting up nights, and now Iris, my fellow exile, my newcomer to watch over, that I am no longer only a cutting from your garden, but a plant in my own right in this one, putting out roots of my own into the northern ground. And I do not know what that means for the old root, the one that runs south to you. I would like to believe a thing can be joined at both ends at once, rooted here and rooted home, here and away both, holding to the new ground without letting go of the old. Mrs. Yarrow would say it can. She would say that is exactly what the long root is, the thing that does not have to choose. But I will be honest with you, in this silent week when honesty is all I have to send. It is easier to believe the root holds south to you when a letter comes every week to prove it. It is harder, this week, with the empty place on the shelf and the green cutting the only green thing, and your half of the sky gone quiet. Harder, but I am still believing it. The cutting in my window is joined to the one by your wall, whether a letter comes or not. The root does not need the post. You told me yourself, or Mrs. Yarrow did through me, that the away part doesn't know it, but the root does. So let the letter be late. The root knows. I am choosing to trust the root this week, since it is the only thing crossing the distance that I know for certain has not stopped. We have taken to trading the outside world, Iris and I, late, when the others have dozed off and the two of us are the only ones still awake, with the old world still ticking in us. Because that is the one thing we have that the natives do not, the two of us. The memory of the measured places, and it turns out to be a thing you can warm your hands at, shared. It started by accident. She said, one night, out of nothing, that she missed the sound of trams. Just that, the sound of trams, the particular rising whine and the bell of them in the wet mornings of the grey city she came from. And it went through me, Margaret, because I knew it. I knew that exact sound. I had stood at those exact wet mornings. And I said so, and we were off, trading them, the small, ordinary sounds and smells and habits of the world we had each left, like two people turning out their pockets on a table to see what they both happened to be carrying. The smell of a particular kind of coffee stall, the Sunday emptiness of a city street, the way the lamplighter used to come, the particular misery of a wet railway platform, and the particular comfort of the tea you drank on it. We are from different cities, she and I, different lives, a good many years apart. But the measured world is the measured world, and its furniture is the same everywhere. And we found we had 100 small things in common that no one born in this valley could ever quite understand. And there was such a strange comfort in it, Margaret, such an unexpected easing, to sit with someone who remembers, who knows without being told what you mean by the loneliness of a Sunday or the sound of a tram in the rain. I had not known I was homesick for the outside itself. Not for you, that is a different and a larger ache, but for the plain, grey, ordinary world I spent my life in and grumbled at and never thought I loved. I love it, it turns out, a little, now that I am so far from it. The way you come to love a plain old coat once the cold has properly set in. And Iris is a piece of it, a warm, living piece of the measured world, arrived in my unmeasured one. And I find I am hungry for the trading. And I have caught myself already, once or twice, thinking of a thing across the day that I will save up to tell her, the way I save things up to tell you. And I have made myself notice that and turn it over, because it is a new route going down, and I have promised you I would tell you when I felt them go. I felt that one go. I am telling you. It changes nothing about the old route south to you. The ground has room for more than one thing, but I said I would be honest about the taking, and I am taking here a little more each week. And this week, it looks like a stopped watch put away in a pocket, and two exiles trading the sound of trams by a dying fire. It happened this morning. The thing I had been waiting for on her behalf. The thing I had promised myself I would be there for. And I am still full of it. And it is the last thing I have to tell you before I let this letter go into whatever slow, strange road will carry it to you. I could not sleep again, and I went down to the bakehouse in the black before dawn, the way I do, and Iris was already there. Of course she was. The snow light and the strangeness had her up too, as they had me in my first weeks, and she had found the one warm waking place, as I had, and there she was on the stool by the oven, the newcomer's stool, wrapped in the heat, and Oates working his dough in the red gold light and saying nothing. And there was a second stool set out, and I understood that Oates had set it, that he had known I would come. that he keeps a stool now for each of his sleepless ones. And I sat, and the three of us were quiet together in the warm dark, with the smell of the bread coming up. An old baker and two exiles from the measured world. And it was as holy a room as I have ever sat in. And Iris took out her watch, the habit of it, the winding. She took it out to wind it against the stopping she could feel coming. And she wound it, and it would not wind. It had stopped. I saw her face as she felt it, the small resistance under her thumb, the spring gone slack, the ticking she had guarded all these days finally, quietly, gone. And I saw the fear come up in her, the particular terror of the last handhold letting go, the old world's last thread parting in her hand. And she looked up, and her eyes found mine across the oven light. And Margaret, I was there. For once in this whole strange country, I was in exactly the right place at exactly the right moment, with exactly the thing that was needed, which is so rarely how it goes for any of us. And I told her it was all right. I said, quietly, so as not to make it larger than it was, but certainly the way I had told her the date that first night. I said, it stopped. Mine stopped too, my first month. Everyone stops here. You don't need it. There's nothing here for it to be right about. And I watched her hold that, the way she had held the date. And I watched the fear in her face turn slowly into something else. Not quite ease, but the beginning of it, the first loosening. And she looked down at the stilled watch in her palm and she said, "What do you do then, without it?" And I said the truest thing I have learned here, the thing it took me months and a kept snow to learn. And I gave it to her in one morning by the oven, because no one gave it to me, and I would not have her wait as long as I waited. I said, "You let the days be as long as they are. You get up when the light wakes you, and you sleep when the sleep comes, and you let the bread and the fire and the dark tell you where you are in the day instead of the numbers. It feels like falling at first, and then one morning you notice you have stopped falling, and you are only resting, and you cannot for your life remember why you held the little wheel so tight for so long." And she looked at me, and she looked at Oates, who had not stopped working and did not look up, but who I know was listening, because he listens to everything. And she put the stopped watch in her pocket, not thrown away, only put away, which is exactly right, exactly how it should go. And she wrapped her hands around her warm cup instead, and something in the room settled, and Oates slid the first loaves in, and the smell of the baking bread filled the warm dark. And I thought, there, that is done. She has crossed the first water. She will be all right, in the way that we are all right here, which is not the way the old world means it, but is, I have come to believe, a truer and a kinder way. And I did for her what no one did for me, and it healed something in me to do it, some old unmet ache of my own first sleepless month. And I understood that this too is the economy of the place, that the old wounds get salved by the tending of the new ones, that we heal our own arrivals by easing the arrivals that come after. I came here broken and grey. I sat by an oven this morning and mended a stranger, and mended myself in the doing. And if that is being kept, Margaret, if that is the soft rope closing, then I no longer know how to be sorry for it, and I have stopped trying to be. It is very late now, or very early. The bread is long since carried up, and the village is waking to it. And I have come back to my cold room to finish this to you before I sleep, with the stopped watch morning still warm in me, and the snow still and blue-white in the window. Let me gather it up for you, this strange doubled week, the way I like to before I sleep. 2 things came this week, Margaret, and they came together, and I have decided they were meant to. A silence came. Your silence. The first one. The empty place on the shelf. And it taught me your side of all this. The long patience of the one left behind. And it frightened me, and humbled me, and made me love you, if it is possible, a little more, for the faithfulness of all the weeks you did not miss. And a stranger came, Iris, out of the snow, winding her dying watch, and she taught me my own side, showed me how far in I have come, that I am not the newcomer anymore, but one of the keepers, that the place has grown its roots up through me, while I was busy watching for the ones I was growing down. And the 2 lessons are the same lesson, I think, seen from the 2 ends. They are both about the root that runs both ways. You, keeping the empty half of the bench in the south, are the old ground I came from, and am joined to still. Iris, on the newcomer's stool in the north, is the new ground I have taken in, and I am the length of root between, joined at both ends, here and away both. And this was the week I felt the whole length of it at once, taut and alive, from your kitchen to Oates's oven, and understood that I do not have to choose which end is home, that a root is not a thing that chooses, that I can be your brother and one of Hollowmere's keepers in the same breath and betray neither. I know how this letter has wandered. I know it went out on a silence and found its way to a stopped watch by an oven, and that you may read it weeks late, in a December I have not reached, with your own long-delayed letter to me having crossed it somewhere in the snow. But I wanted you to have the whole of the week, exactly as it came, because that is our pact, the truest one, older than the dates, that I tell you all of it, the warm and the strange and the frightening and the tender, and let you hold the other end. So here it is, all of it, held out to you across the quiet. And here is the last of it, the thing I most want you to carry. The letters not coming did not cut the thread. I thought it might. I sat under that fear all week. And what I found at the bottom of the fear was the root, the thing that crosses the distance without the post, that holds whether the letter comes or not, that you cannot see and I cannot see, but that is there, joining your wall to my window, your December to my November, your half of the sky to mine. Write to me when you can. Write and tell me it was only the snow, only the post, only your future not yet caught up to my present. I will be watching the shelf. But if the letter is slow again, if the silence comes another week, do not let it frighten you as it frightened me at the start of this one, because I have learned the thing this week that I most needed to learn, and I give it to you to hold too. The root does not need the letter. We are joined under all of it. The post is only how we wave. Give my love to the boys. And Margaret, I have to tell you that writing that line just now caught me by the throat, because I do not know this week how the younger one is. You wrote me last that he had a small winter cold and had asked in the dark whether his uncle was warm. And I have carried that all week. And this week no letter came to tell me whether the cold has passed, whether he is up and ruling his cat again, whether the small, brave boy who worried about his uncle's warmth is himself warm and well. and I find I cannot bear not knowing. And it is the sharpest edge of the whole silence, sharper than my own unmooring, that somewhere south a child I love may be poorly, and I have no word. So when you write, when the road opens and the letter crosses, tell me first of all that he is well. Lead with it, the way you lead with the boys, because you know it is the first wall I put my back against. Tell me he is well, and I will be able to breathe. And tell the map maker his uncle has a new friend in the village, who came from away just as his uncle did, and that he was kind to her, and that being kind to her mended something. He is old enough now, I think, to be told that being kind to a stranger can mend the one who is kind. And keep the rest for yourself, the largest part, as always, the part I am still learning to say, and am saying a little better this cold, strange winter than I could when I came. Write to me, Margaret, when you can. I am not afraid. I have talked myself honestly out of the fear across these pages. But I am waiting, and I will be waiting, at the window and the shelf and under our shared stars, for the small blue miracle of your hand out of the south. Not yet is not never. I am holding the whole length of the route, from your wall to my window, and it has not slackened, and I do not believe it will. Your brother, grown down into the northern ground now, and rooted home to you still, joined at both ends and choosing both, one of the keepers and forever one of yours, writing into the quiet and trusting the route to carry it, watching the shelf, watching the stars. Edwin. Postscript. I've done a thing with the empty place on the shelf, the place where your letter would stand. And I want to tell you, because it is the nearest I have come this week to making my peace with the silence. I have left it empty, on purpose. I cleared the small clutter that had started to drift into it, a stub of candle, a button, and I have left the place bare and waiting, kept, the way you keep the empty half of the bench for me in the south. It came to me, doing it, that we have been doing the same thing all along at our two ends, you and I, keeping a place. You keep half a bench, I keep a shelf. Neither of us sits in the kept place or fills it. We only keep it, empty and ready, against the day the other comes. And I understood that the empty place is not the absence of you. It is the shape of my faith that you are coming, that a letter is coming, that you are still there, that the quiet is only the road being long. An empty kept place is not a grief, it is a promise with nothing in it yet. So I am keeping your shelf the way you keep my bench, and I will keep it however many weeks the snow keeps the roads. And when your letter comes, it will come. It will have a place already waiting, swept and ready, that never once, not for a day, belonged to anything but you. Sleep well, Margaret. Look up. The root holds. E.